This is a video I never wanted to make. Many of you asked me to make this video, and as a YouTube personality, I feel like I'm almost obligated to make such a video. And I can't believe I've even got to say these words, because we just came over the loss of Jules Bianchi a month ago, and I've got to report about another death, this time in IndyCar, and the tragic loss of Justin Wilson around, I think it was something like 2 in the morning today, August 25th, as I'm recording this. And it was an incident very similar to Felipe Massa's in 2009 at Hungary, where a spring from Rubens Barrichello's car hit him in the head. In this case, it was towards the closing stages of the Pocono Raceway Indy race. It was a 500-mile race, and Sage Karam, who was leading the race at the time, spun from the lead, and as he hit the wall, a piece of his car came off and struck Wilson in the head, seemingly knocking him unconscious immediately. He crashed into the wall as a result. He was then given medical attention. He was lifted out of the car and then airlifted to hospital. And he was in a coma, and sadly he succumbed to his injuries this morning. And it's a horrible, horrible news. It really is. There's no other way to describe it. It's even worse given the timing of it. We just overcame Jules Bianchi and his tragic loss, and now we've lost another driver in motorsport, a prominent driver as well, in a major series. And it's been an awful month for motorsport. If you're a bike fan, I'm sure you'll know of the losses of Danny Rivas and Bernat Martinez in the Moto America series as well. And that was another just freak accident. It could have happened anywhere in the world, but it just happened. And it's been a wretched, wretched month for motorsport, and it's been absolutely tragic. To sum it up well, a good friend of mine, Zara Daniela, on Twitter, tweeted this morning, and she goes, "In motorsport, there are fast days and sad days with nothing in between, and the latter few feel longer than any victory celebration." And I think that is so very true. Motorsport and IndyCar has rallied together in support, and it's been tough for everybody. I mean, I can't imagine how Sage Karam is feeling, knowing that he was indirectly responsible for something like that, and obviously a complete freak accident. It could happen a million times over, and it might not ever happen again. That a piece just happened to hit Wilson in the helmet. It's just such an awful thing, and he leaves behind a wife, a brother, and 2 beautiful little girls as well. And I've never heard a bad word ever said about Justin Wilson, ever. All of his peers, he's a universally well-liked guy, and I know IndyCar have been gushing with praise for him as a human being and as a gentleman. And I know, and it's not just because he's passed away. I feel that was the case before he passed. I've always heard such nice things about Justin as a guy and as an ambassador for IndyCar and for motorsport in general. Many of you, I'm sure, know him from his days at the Jaguar Formula One team as well. I know Red Bull Racing was very sad in tribute as well, because obviously that used to be the Jaguar team, and still many a Jaguar employee still work for Red Bull now. And I know that's resonated with them. Everyone in the Formula One world and in motorsport in general have come together, and it's just a terribly sad thing, really. And I know, naturally, as we do in motorsport, we move on, and I know a lot of discussion has been made about the possibility of closed cockpits, and I know people have asked me for my opinion on this. Originally, I was keeping quiet on it. I just wanted to say, what, now's not the time. But you guys seem to really respect my opinion on these things, and again, like I said, I feel like I have a duty as a YouTuber to talk about it. And yeah, to me, I think closed cockpits, cause more problems than it solves. I still think, incidents striking people in the head is still a very rare occurrence, and I still wouldn't chalk it up to anything more than an unfortunate coincidence. I know the easy comparisons are there to make. I know Hinchcliffe got hit in the head a couple of years ago when he was at Andretti. I know that obviously Felipe Massa had the spring in 2009. And I know that there was another obvious one I'm thinking of. It's struggling to come to me at the minute. Oh yes, obviously Henry Surtees as well, who tragically lost his life in very similar fashion with a tyre. It's like, I feel like if there's an accident that involves maybe a fire or a roll, and you have to remove a closed cockpit to get out of the car, is those extra few seconds worth it? Because like in a fire, you know, every second is critical. You know, we all know what happened to Niki Lauda at the Nürburgring that year in the 70s, where, you know, that fire, you know, if he's in that fire 10 seconds longer, it may have killed him. And, you know, you feel like, is it worth it? And I know people are going to say, for really stupid and asinine reasons, things like, oh, well, the thrill of the sport is in the danger. And it's like, well, no. It shouldn't be about the thrill. It should be about keeping these people safe. They put their lives on the line every time they step in the car. If we can save a life or two, if we can save a life or two by making a couple of measures that really aren't a big deal in the long-term scheme of things, I am more than willing to have that conversation. And I know practically, I'm not sure if a closed cockpit could work, but I'm glad the FIA announced today they're going to have more closed cockpit tests. And I am glad that they are at least exploring the possibility. I think that is the right attitude to have. They're not dismissing it, they're investigating it, and that's what we should do. We should encourage guys to look for solutions, because that's how things get done. And as much as I know it's a terrible time to bring it up, and I know many people are still grieving over Justin's loss, and obviously I completely understand that, I feel like it's a discussion that is definitely worth having. And I feel like if we can do this in a mature and, you know, positive manner, that I think progress could be made. And I'm totally okay with a closed cockpit if it's effective and it's proven to work, and, you know, the compromises made are fair and valid. I am okay with this, personally. I know people have asked me about this, and I feel like I didn't really want to talk about it, but again, people will ask, and I feel like let me get it out of the way now more than anything else. But obviously, I don't let that distract us all from what's been a horrible day for motorsport, a horrible loss for the sporting world to lose Justin Wilson, gone far too soon at the age of 37. And obviously, from everyone here at the channel, my thoughts and prayers go out to Justin's family, his friends, and the IndyCar community, who I know this has hit very hard indeed. And I'm going to leave at the end of the video an address. The address is a fund that is going to be used to collect donations to support Justin's two daughters. If you have anything you can spare, that would be wonderful. There will be no adverts on this video, but I personally will make a donation to Justin's family. If you can spread the word, that would be wonderful. I didn't really want to go for the whole hot lap thing again, because I feel like second time round it's just not going to do as well by default. And this is not about me, this is about him. So if you can, anything you can spare, the address will be at the end of the video. Feel free to donate whatever you can to Justin's family. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say. And obviously, thank you very much for watching.